Yo, yo, RX back with another breakdown, and it's not a pay-per-view that you can't hear me in the video. It's a fight night, and it's actually a really good fight night, especially if you compare it to the next few cards, which I will be breaking down over the next couple weeks, because we got 4 straight weeks of fight nights and 8 more weeks of cards, so. Yay, 8 weeks of RX breakdowns. This should get good. But, yeah, you know me, don't like these long intros. I think I like most people, I just skip through them. But I just want to say I'm doing a UFC breakdown and Bellator breakdown, my second ever, first. And I'm just doing the main event because I'll tell you why I'm only doing the main event later, but of course I'm going to do a quick little breakdown at the end of the UFC breakdown of Lima versus Michael Venom page 2. So if you want to stick around for that, you can. Or if you're watching this after it premieres, you can go down in the description and just watch that, and that's it. So, yeah, longest intro probably of my short YouTube career, and I say, let's get into this. First fight on the UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 38 card, whatever you want to call it. We got a really interesting fight. Alejandro Perez versus Johnny Eduardo. And I call this fight interesting because both these guys have been off for 2 years plus. We've not seen Perez in 2 years since he fought Song Yadong. We've not seen Eduardo in 3 years since he lost to Nathaniel Wood. So both guys have been off for a while during the pandemic, and now they're back. I'm gonna keep it a buck 45. I don't know Perez that much, and I only know Johnny Eduardo because he's in the EA UFC games, and no one uses him because he sucks. But that's the only reason I know who he is. He's 41, so he's a vet. 28-12. He has that veteran record, not like some wins, double digit. I've always said a veteran record is if you got double digit losses. Clay Guida, Alex Caceres, Diego Sanchez, BJ, veteran record. So he has that. Perez almost has that 21-8, but he's only 32. You can tell I'm pulling extra of shit to talk about in this fight, because I really don't know what to say. Two guys come back after 2 years plus. It's like, they don't know what guys we're gonna see. Betting odds wise, we got Perez coming in at minus 225 to Eduardo's plus 175. The only reason I think those are betting odds were main two is Perez has fought way better competition. In his last 5, he's fought Song Yadong, Cody Stamen, Eddie Wineland. I think he fought, or am I getting him mixed up with someone else? Did he fight Piotr Jan? No, I got him mixed up with someone else. But he fought way better competition. I said Yadong, Stamen, Wineland, Scott Jorgensen, Soccer Mom. He's fought better competition than Eduardo, who's fought not great competition. His best fight of his career was Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling, someone to write home about. He also fought Rafael back in 2011, so I think that tells you alone he's a vet. On paper, it's not a bad fight. Both guys coming back, but I think I think these odds, and the other reason I think the odds are like just because fucking Eduardo is 41. Name more than 1 or 2 fighters who's looked great in their 40s, and name people who are not Randy Couture or Yoel Romero. Yeah, you can't. So, not much to say about this fight. I think Perez is probably gonna win by decision or knockout. Eduardo's just old and been off for too long. His last win was 4 years ago against some nobody. Perez's last one was Eddie Wineland, so they both have KO'd beat Eddie Wineland. So what does that tell you? yeah, it's a fun fight, but I think I'm gonna go Perez by um probably gonna pick decision, but again, I would not be amazed at a knockout. And obviously, if you watch my last breakdown, which I hope you didn't, but I said in that from now on with these breakdowns, after every fight, I'm gonna give my own betting odds. But I think these are perfect. I guess I'd move up Perez to minus 250. But besides that, I think they're perfect. Yeah, pretty good odds. And I think Perez is gonna get his first one in 3 years. Oh yeah, not bad. Two vets to start off the card. After that, another weird fight to talk about. Shanna Young versus Stephanie Edgar. I honestly have no idea what to say for this fight because I could care less. Like the last fight I didn't care about because I don't know them. This fight I don't care about because who are these bitches? Like, we got Shanna Young, second UFC fight, knockout contender series. Yeah, her losses are to like good competition, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know what to say about this one. Sorry about that. I had to do some, but yeah, like I said, I have no idea what to say about this fight. I don't know either that well. I might, if I really think, I might recognize Edgar from her Cortez fight 11 months ago. And I don't remember Young at all. So, like I said, if you want to go watch an in-depth breakdown about Shanna Young and Stephanie Edgar, go ahead. But go watch Pain, who I'll link at the end of the video. But if you're here for that in-depth breakdown of this fight, you're not getting it, Chief. Like, they're both 30 and 33. They both have okay records. And I'm gonna betting odds have Young at minus 140, Edgar at plus 110. I think another really good fight betting odds wise. I would agree with the odds again, and I'm gonna go with Young, Shanna Young by decision. Why? Like I said, if you want a better in-depth breakdown, go to a different channel or Pain, like who I'll link at the end of the video. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this fight. Not a great fight. Definitely not the best women's fight on the card. Out of the 4 women's fights on the card, it's god awful compared to them. And yeah, I'm gonna go Young by decision. I don't know what else, what more I can actually say about that fight. Not a great fight. After that, after this card starts off with a fucking streak of 3 really weird fights. As we got in our third fight, Douglas Andrade versus Getalo Perello. I'm not professional at saying names. I honestly don't know what to say about this fight either. We got Andrade coming back after an 8-month layoff, losing to Lerone Murphy. It was not a bad loss. And I think you could say about, like, if you look at Andrade's record, and am I the one who's, it's weird saying Andrade, not talking about Jessica, who fought last week and looked great. Maybe just me. But you could say what I just said about the Murphy loss, about a lot of his losses. And he lost 3 in a row, but they were to Rob Font, Marlon Vera, and Piotr Jan. In his last 5, he's fought, two former champions, an up-and-comer, and 2 ranked guys. Yeah, the weakest opponent he fought was Renan Barão in 2019, but still that's Renan Barão. And before that, he really didn't fight any great competition, but a streak of 5 pretty high-level fights is not bad. Yeah, and win. He beat Marlon Vera. and like I said, but he lost to the higher competition, so I don't know what that really says about him. But then his opponent, Perello, came in on short notice against Ricky Simone and got subbed out. I think it's like a really big dog in that fight, which if you're coming on short notice against Ricky Simone, I'm not surprised you lost and were a huge dog, but he's not coming in on short notice on this, and he's still a pretty big dog. So we got in, I say that because the betting odds are minus 225, Andrade to plus 190. The only reason I don't agree with those odds is the age. Andrade is 36, while Perello is 29. So it's like, I think Andrade is gonna win. Obviously, I'm gonna pick him by decision, but I would move these odds down to minus 185 Andrade, plus 140 Perello, if you, maybe plus 160. I would have them a little closer, but I still don't think Perello's gonna win. So yeah, I think Andrade has fought way better competition. Perello's best opponent is Ricky Simone, while Andrade is Piotr Jan. No offense to Ricky Simone, but if you try to compare, and he fought Arnold Allen, so good for Perello. But as I was saying, if you try to compare Ricky Simone to Piotr Jan, you're kinda high. So Andrade by decision, and yeah, a lot of people are calling Andrade their lock of the card. I don't see it. Looking at the card, my lock is I don't know. Like actually no, I do have a lock of the card, and it's a pretty obvious one, but we'll get to him later. So yeah, Andrade decision, 3 decisions in a row, and it's all the red corner. So, but I'm gonna break that red corner streak with this fight, which is a banger of a fight. Jamie Malarkey versus Devontae Smith. Oh boy, this fight, what a fucking upgrade. We went from 3 fights to 2 good prospects. Ooh, this is a banger, this is definitely a banger of a fight. This is gonna be a war. And I would say this would be 5 tonight if there was a guy named Nico Price on the card later. So, most likely not 5 tonight, but gonna be a war. We know Malarkey from knocking out Karma Worthy 5 months ago. Yeah, he lost 2 in a row before that, but he lost to Brad Riddell. Not a bad loss. And Faris Viam, not the best loss. And then before that, 1 on the regional. So, in 3 fights, he lost to a ranked guy. He beat a decent guy in Karma Worthy, and he lost to a pretty shit guy. But then for Devonta, he's had a lot more UFC fights. He's had 4, he's going 3-1, beating Juicy J, Dung Hyung Mai, and Justin James in a war. But he did lose to the guy Malarkey KO'd Karma Worthy, but that was a version of Devonta from 2 years ago, and Karma stepped in on short notice. So, can you really blame him? And I think they're teammates, so that also played a factor. A young fighter fighting his teammate usually doesn't end well. I don't think you can go wrong picking this fight. The odds say differently though. Minus 160 for Devontae, and plus 135 for Jamie Malarkey. I would move the odds to minus 130 each. I would say minus 135 Devontae, and then plus 130 Malarkey, like that close. Because they're both late 20s, 28 and 27. They're both young in their careers. They both looked good as late in their last 2 fights, getting a knockout each. And yeah, they're not Karma. And if you want to use MMA math in this fight, which is stupid, Devontae lost to Karma, but Malarkey KO'd Karma. So that means, if you ever hear a predictor say that about a fight, then stop watching that video. I just said I'm making fun of them because that's MMA math has never worked. It never will. So, who am I picking this fight? I'm going with Devonta Smith. Yeah, I'm not picking any dogs yet. And looking at the card throughout the week, the favorite is pretty much like the right pick. Like, they really didn't fuck up on this card. I am picking a dog later, but that might be the only dog I'm picking. But I'm not picking a dog in this fight because I'm going Devonta Smith by decision again. I think this is going to be a war, and if someone gets dropped, don't be shocked. But I'm saying these two are going to have a slugfest that would be 5 tonight if a crazy man was on the card later. And yeah, I think there's a coin flip of a fight, but I'm going with King Cage with a K. Devonta Smith by decision. Banger fight, can't wait for that. And now we get to another woman's fight on the card, which is Carola Rosa, I'm fucking retarded, I swear, versus Betch Kohea. Betch Kohea's last fight, finally, and she's gonna get murdered. I'm sorry. Everyone's been saying all week that Betch is gonna get murdered, because she is. Would it be cool to see her go out on a win beating a highly touted prospect? Yes. But is she? Fuck no. Are you high? She's gonna get murdered. Come on now, let's not be stupid. She's gonna get murdered. Rosa is no joke. Rosa is a beast, and she's way younger. She is 26 to Kohea is 38. So the age difference is crazy. So I think looking at age alone should say a lot, but I guess it doesn't. If you can't tell by what I'm saying, who I'm picking, you're kind of stupid. I'm going Rosa. I think the betting odds definitely agree with me, by the way. Rosa at minus 350 to Kohea's plus 260. Rosa's probably the second biggest favorite on the card. I don't know why she wouldn't be. I would be amazed if she's not the second, because I know who should be first, but I think betting odds not for that fight are fucky, so I don't know. Yeah, Kohea is a WMMA legend. She's had legendary fights, fighting beating 2 of the 4 horsewomen, then getting knocked out by Ronda, the Holly knockout. She's had legendary fights. And she's a legend. Is she a Hall of Famer? Fuck no. But she's a legend. She's gonna retire after the fight, most likely, because she's gonna try to get her last fight booked forever. Does anyone care? No. But yeah, I think Rosa's just gonna do what she has to do to win, and she's gonna dominate. And I think the betting odds are fine. If anything, I'd move them up. I'd say Rosa should be minus 400. So yeah, I think this fight's everyone sees this fight going one way. Would I be amazed if Kohea won? Yes. Would I be happy for her? Oh yeah. No hate against Kohea. She's cool. Yeah. Like I know a lot of these early fight breakdowns are pretty dog shit, but they're pretty simple. I think. Trust me, what I'm saying in this breakdown is not too far from what other people are saying. Rosa's gonna murk her. Don't be shocked if there's a finish in this fight. So I'm saying decision, but if it's a finish, I would not be amazed in the slightest. I'm going I'm going Rosa by decision. Thank you for all you've done, Kohea, but you're not winning this one. After that, ooh, I'm so hyped for this fight. The fight I'm most hyped for on the card. Antonina Shevchenko versus Casey King O'Neill. Oh, I'm so hyped for this one. because I'm a huge O'Neal fan. She's actually liked a couple of my tweets and my IG posts. She's cool as fuck. And I think she's gonna get the win this weekend. And I think this is great matchmaking by the UFC. When I saw this fight get booked, I think it was like 2 months ago, I was like, damn, that's some great fucking matchmaking. They're not feeding, like, she fought 2 pretty weak fighters in her first 2 fights, O'Neal, and then Shevchenko ain't that good, but she's better than Prohopico and Shanna Dobson, that's for sure. So, I think anyone who tries to disagree with that's kinda it's kinda sucking dick on one of those 2 fighters, but whatever. I think no disrespect to Antonina. I like Antonina, but you're not getting it done tonight, Chief. If you're getting out wrestled by Andrea Lee, Caitlin Chukagian, Roxy, and beating like weak fighters, you're not winning. Like again, I watched a couple breakdowns this week. Again, it's just Casey's gonna wrestle her and could get a finish. I think this is the first finish I'm predicting on the card. I think she's gonna sub her in the second. I think in round 1 it'll be a feeling out process, and I think going into round 2, Anthony will be a little gassed. She got taken down, got a little ground and pounded, and she'll be a little gassed. Casey will lock up a choke, rear naked choke maybe, and it's over. Casey is coming in as a -210 favorite, 2 plus 175. Casey was actually the dog in her last fight against Prohopico. I don't know how. That blows my fucking mind. When I saw that line, when I made my pick, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Casey's the dog in this fight? Damn, people are stupid. But I don't think there's, I think those odds are, if anything, I would drop Casey to like -200. I think she's still too young. She's fucking 23 fighting a 36-year-old. She's undefeated, yes. She looked good in her TFC fight, yes, but I don't know if I could put her at -210. I think 200 even pushing it a little bit. But I think those odds make more sense than her being the dog. So, no disrespect to Antonina, but can she pull off the upset? I don't think so. Her sister dominated Lauren Murphy last Saturday night. But we all know Valentina's the better sister of the 2. The younger is not always the better, but in this family it is. I think the King's gonna move to 8-0 and future champion. Antonina, you gotta tell your sister, watch out. The King's coming for the throne. Casey O'Neal submission round 2. And after that, the preliminary headliner, a fight I don't care about, not because I don't know them, because I don't care about this fight. Joe Solecki versus Jared Flash Gordon. And it's not a bad fight, I just don't care. Especially compared to the fights happening before and after this. It's like, why is this a preliminary headliner and not O'Neal or this Malarkey should be? Malarkey Smith should be the headliner of the prelims, but it's not for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. It's on paper it's not a bad fight, but it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too long on this fight because I don't care about this fight. I'm picking Solecki to continue his winning streak. I'm gonna pick him by decision. He beat Jim Miller, which is, I don't know how great of a win that is in 2021 anymore. And Jared Gordon coming off 2 wins against Danny Chavez and Chris Fishgold. Definitely not better wins than Solecki. But he did step in the cage with Bronx Oliveira, the current champion, and to get demolished, but still, he stepped in the cage with Bronx Oliveira. Props. Like, people who I've seen pick Gordon are like, oh, he's stepped in the cage with better competition and he's gonna do this and that. Yes, he could. But do I think he's going to? No. I think Solecki's gonna do what he has to do to win. He's gonna win the fight. Solecki is coming in at a minus 140 to a plus 110 from Jared Gordon. I think those odds are fine. If you want to be generous to Gordon, you could drop Solecki down to minus 130, make it a little more close, but I think Solecki is going to do what he has to do to win, just like he did in the Jim Miller fight. I'm going Solecki to continue his winning streak in the UFC, and it's going to be a decision. Yeah, that's the prelims. What, 25 minutes? Almost 26 minutes. Not bad. Especially compared to my last video, which was 53 minutes or some shit. If anyone actually watched that whole thing, you're a real one. But yeah, it's fun prelims. I think they should switch a couple fights around. But yeah, I think fun prelims, and I only got one finish out of what, 7 fights. But I think I could see a couple yeah, I don't have many finishes, but I got a couple. And speaking of finishes, the first main card fight, Alexander the Great Hernandez versus Mike Breeden. You remember when I was talking about my lock of the card earlier? Here he is, the Great, quote unquote, Alex Hernandez. And after Volkanovski fought last week, you should definitely change your nickname, because you ain't great. We all know Alex Hernandez for being made into a Cowboys bitch. Andrew Dober's bitch. And Thiago Moises, but Thiago Moises sucks. I think Hernandez's biggest fault of his career was he got on his own hype train. How many fighters have we said done that and then got KO'd or lost because of it? A lot. Hernandez hopped on his own hype train and he paid for it. I think these young fighters should look at people like Alex and Johnny Walker as you can't hop on your own hype train. Because if you're on your own hype train, then you're too confident in yourself. If I was a fighter, which hopefully one day I can be, that's my dream. I want to shit on my own hype train, on all my on my own skill, because I want to get better. If you're on your own hype train, that means you're too confident in yourself. You think you're the best. You think you can be a champion, but if you're on your own hype train, you can't get better as a fighter. That's what I think, but other people don't agree. I think that, and I think that shows Hernandez. Plus, when he fought real competition, he got his ass handed to him. Before Cowboy, his best win was was Dariush, which, props, great fucking win, but it was a 42-second fight. And then he beat Oliver Urban Mercer, and then he got whooped by Donald on the prelims. So, Alex is my lofty card only because Breeden is coming in on like a week notice. I don't think, I've done no tape study. As you know, if you watch any of my shit, I don't tape study. I don't do that shit. I've always looked at it as mind over tape study. I don't know where I was going with that. Could Breeden be one of these kids who comes in on short notice and gets a knockout like a Terrence McKinney, or the guy who knocked out Wesley Alves? Yes. But do I think he's going to? Nope. I think Hernandez at minus 355 is criminal. He should be minus 450. Breeden come back plus 275. So if you want to make some money, which is Breeden's nickname, throw a little money on Breeden if you're confident enough. If you think Alexander Hernandez sucks as bad as he really does, then throw a little money on Breeden. I'm not here to give you betting advice, but it's not the worst bet you can make. Now, I'm going with the great Alexander Hernandez. Terrible nickname for you because you're not great. By knockout in the first, I think he'll do what he has to do to win. Just knock him out. Breeden's coming in on a week notice. Yeah, he fought 4 months ago. Well, Alex fought 6. But, I don't know. I'm trying to, give Breeden the benefit of the doubt, but he's gonna get murdered. Like, I feel bad for the kid because he's gonna get murdered. So, I think Hernandez is gonna win. Knockout in the first, or in the second. If he can't finish this guy, he fucking sucks. So, I'm going with the Great by knockout in the first as my lock for the card, but I think he's most people's locks of the card because it's a short notice guy against a UFC vet, quote unquote. So Alex by knockout in the first, and yeah. Now we move on. 1 second. Now we move on to a really good fight. They had a pretty big fight in the women's bantamweight division, rankings-wise. Aspen Ladd versus Nacy Chiasson. I hate when people say her name Chiasson, like Payne does it if you watch his breakdowns. Like, just say her name right. This fight was supposed to happen a couple months ago. I think the TJ Sanagan card, if I'm correct. Am I correct? Chiasson got an injury, I think the night before the weigh-ins, and they scratched the fight, but we're here now. I think this is a really good fight. This had really big complications in the rankings, because Ladd's, I think, like, the 4th ranked, and Chiasson's 9th ranked, so I think if Ladd wins this, she could easily be fighting Nunes next at bantamweight, even though who fucking knows who Nunes is gonna fight next. And if Chiasson wins, she just shot herself up into top 5 or 6 or 5. So this is having big stakes for both women. Who do I think's gonna win? I think the -210 favorite and Aspen Ladd's gonna win. I think she's fought way better competition, and by the by the way, her one loss to GDR was terrible fucking stoppage. What the fuck's going on with my voice? Let me take a sip. Hold on. There we go. Terrible stoppage against GDR. I watched that fight live, and it was a terrible stoppage. And yeah, no disrespect to Chiasson, but I just don't think she's ready for a top woman like this. She went tooth and nail with Marion Renault, for fuck's sake. I think Ladd's gonna do what she has to do to win. And something interesting about this fight, if I'm looking at the first time this was booked, Ladd was only a -170 favorite. Now she shot up to 210. And now fucking Chiasson is +170. Kinda interesting. Like, Chiasson doesn't suck, but I think she won the Ultimate Fighter if I'm correct. But in her last fight, she KO'd Gina Mazzani, not a great win. Beat Sarah Morales, lost to Lena Landsberg, who's now ranked under her, I think. And then beat Shanna Young, who's fighting earlier on the card, and beat Marion Renault. Ladd KO'd Yana Kunitskaya, lost to GDR, and got a couple wins before that. She actually beat Lena Landsberg. So just like the Karma Devonta Smith thing earlier, if you want to use MMA math, you're definitely picking Aspen Ladd. I'm picking Aspen Ladd because I think she's better. Again, no offense to Chiasson, I don't mind Chiasson, I think she's good, but I think Ladd's just a tier above her. I think Ladd's almost championship material. She's only 26, which is fucking insane. And Chiasson, I think, is just not ready for the big times yet, if she ever will be. So I'm going with Aspen Ladd by decision. And I'm actually really, I want to say really intrigued into that fight. So I'm going Ladd. God, I've only not picked a red corner in 2 fights, but that streak's gonna end in our next fight. But yeah, I'm going Aspen Ladd by decision. Now for the weirdest fight on the card, Misha Cirkunov versus Krzysztof Jotko. What the fuck is this fight? I have so many questions. Why is Cirkunov moving down? Why is this fight happening? Like, what the fuck is this fight? Cirkunov already, like, I don't get it. I have nothing to say about this fight, because it's so, like, what the fuckery. Like, I guess Cirkunov thought he's not been doing great at 205 lately, moved down. But if that's what he's thinking, he beat Jimmy Cruz, which is a great one, 2 years ago, which is aged like fine wine. But before that, he did lose to Spam, Johnny, and Glover. So if he's thinking, oh, I can't beat the top guys, let me move down, it's not gonna, dude, 185 is a lot more challenging than 205. And he was like 11th ranked at 205 still, so he just threw that ranking away. So, I don't get it. And to all guys to fight Jotko? Really? Pick Jotko? Or UFC picked Jotko? Like, I don't get it. It's a weird, it's a really weird fight. If I had to say who I'm picking Jotko. I think Cirkunov is gonna look weird at 185, and I think Jotko is just gonna do what he has to do. I don't think he's gonna knock him out. Maybe. He might knock him out, but I think he's gonna just do what he has to do to get the decision. Jotko did lose to Sean Strickland in a pretty good fight, and before that he was on a 3-fight winning streak against okay competition. So, we all know Jotko. He's never going to be champion, but at most he'll be like 14th ranked. Betting odds have him at 160. Cirkunov come back at plus 140, which are not bad odds. I think I would move Jotko down to like 140 and Cirkunov to like 110. This fight's just so hard to predict. We don't know what we're going to see from this fight. We've not seen Cirkunov at 185. He's taller than Jotko. He's older than Jotko. I don't know if that doesn't help him, but still, he's fought better competition than Jotko by a mile. Like, it's an interesting one. I am looking at it. Hey, Jotko's best fights are Uriah Hall and Sean Strickland. So yeah. Definitely Cirkunov beat a better guy in Cruz, so this fight I think is a weird fight. I'm going Jotko by decision, but I have no idea what to expect from this fight. It's a weird one. Trust, it's a weird one. This is, if I could tell you any fight on the card to stay away from if you're a bettor, it's this one, because you have no idea what you're gonna see in this one. So I'm going with Bullish Power Jotko by decision. And now we get to the guy I was talking about earlier, the psychopath himself, Nico Price versus Alex Oliveira. And this is a great fight. This is gonna be fight of the night. Two guys who are crazy motherfuckers. They're both about the same age. I definitely thought Alex Oliveira was older than 33, but he's not. And we all know Nico Price will go in there. If he wins, he's hyped. If he loses, he's hyped. If it's a draw, he's hyped. So, we all know Nico Price. As I'm trying to think of a good comparison for him. I would say a young Diego, but not as crazy. And at least outside the cage. We all love Nico Price. He's a fan favorite. He's one of those guys in the UFC you can't hate out or in the cage, because he fights like a psychopath and he just seems like a down-to-earth motherfucker. So, and then we all know Alex Oliveira, a veteran. Wins, losses, yada. He fought some of the top guys at the division, beat a couple top guys like Carlos Condit, Tim Means, not a bad win. His first UFC fight was against Gilbert Burns, so he didn't have the best first entry. The fight we all wanted, him and Cowboy Cerrone. And we all know Alex, but lately he's on a 2-fight skid, losing to Rakhmov. I have no idea how to say his name, which is not a bad loss. That kid's looking like a fucking all-star, and then getting badly whooped by Randy Brown in his last fight. So he needs this win. Is the UFC gonna cut him if he loses? No, but he needs this win. Nico, on the other hand, also does not want to fight in about a year when he beat Cowboy. And then he KO'd James Vick, but I think I could KO James Vick. So, yeah. Nico Price only loses to top guys, Perello, Luque twice, and Joff Neal. This is gonna be fight of the night, I can tell you that. And, I got Nico by decision. I could see Nico finishing him, because Oliveira has been getting finished lately, especially by submission. So maybe Nico could pull off some crazy ground thing, but maybe a front kick. But I think the hybrid's gonna do hybrid things and get a win. I'm hyped for this fight, and two fighters I really like. I hate when two fighters I like fight, but in this case it's a fun one. So I'm going with the hybrid, the crazy motherfucker, Nico Price, by decision. After that, we got the co-main event of the evening. Kevin Trailblazer Holland versus Kyle Daukaus. He's back. The Trailblazer is back. After a 2-fight losing streak, getting dominated for 10 rounds, and it's a real step down in competition. Went from Marvin Vettori to Kyle Daukaus. So fucking step down if you ask me. Did I talk about the betting odds for Nico fight? And Nico's like a -140 favorite. I literally just thought of that. Let me check. Yeah, the odds are fine for that fight. You're not gonna bet on that fight. But back to the Holland fight. Like I said, Holland fought Vettori, and now fighting Daukaus. UFC saw they pushed him too quick, and he can't fucking stop a takedown. From what I heard, he was training with Daniel Cormier, which fucking genius, by the way. If you want to stop takedowns, talk to one of the greatest wrestlers in UFC history. So, makes sense. And then talk about his opponent Kyle Daukaus, the younger and shittier brother of Chris. He is 1-2 in the UFC, losing to Brendan Allen and Phil Hawes, but beating Dustin Stoltz. So, not the best in the UFC. Complete opposite of his brother, who's 4-0 now. But I don't think he's gonna become. I don't think he's gonna win like his brother. I think Holland's gonna use his reach, which he has a 81-76 reach, a good reach. And if he can keep us on his feet, he's just gonna dominate. If this stays on the feet, Kevin Holland's winning. If this goes to the ground, most likely Daukaus is winning, but we don't know what Holland's new and improved takedown defense looks like after 5 months. So it's interesting. And I think it's kind of funny that last week we had Chris Daukaus and Valentina Shevchenko fighting, and this week we got Antonina and Kyle. And I think they're both gonna lose. So let's see if the family members, the older sibling and the younger sibling, can live up to their siblings' wins from last week. But I don't think so, because I'm going to Trailblazer by decision. Could he knock him out? Yeah, but I think you need to do a lot to knock him out. At least said that with Jacare Souza fight, so what do I really know? I'm going to Trailblazer by decision. He's a -145 favorite to Daukaus, coming back at +120. You would think they would have Holland as a bigger favorite just because of the people he's fought, but I think this is a great betting line, because if it goes to the ground, I think Daukaus turns into a -500 most likely, and Holland's a +200. So On the feet, Holland's at that minus 145. On the ground, Daukaus turns into a huge favorite, maybe. So I'm going to Trailblazer by decision. Big Mouth, stop takedown. I stopped talking to Khabib. And now the main event of the evening, the Battle of Brazil. And what a great main event this is. Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. What a fucking amazing fight. I remember when this fight was booked also, people were like, oh, Walker's dead. So, do I agree with them? You'll find out in a second. We all know Thiago Santos tore his ACL against John Jones. He had to learn how to walk again. But then lost to Glover after gassing and lost to Ratchik in a pretty underwhelming fight for how good they are. And 1 second. Sorry about that, lights. But yeah, we all know Thiago. He's a heavy hitter, but he's getting on that older side. He's 37 now. Gonna be 38 soon, and is age catching up to him? Because in his last 2 fights, like, not counting John Jones, he looked great in that fight. In his last 2 fights, he looked pretty bad at points. He gassed against Glover and Ratchik. He just never got time to do what he wanted. Is it age? Is the injuries catching up to him? Is it just he doesn't have the fucking fire for it anymore? Who knows? But the worst thing for him, he's fighting a kid who has that fire still, who's 8 years younger, and is not gonna go easy on him like Ratchik did. We all know Johnny Walker, the most hyped light heavyweight we've seen since John Jones. Really should be on a 3-fight losing streak if Ryan Spam had any fight IQ. He got famous in UFC for 2 quick knockouts of pretty bad competition. Justin Ledet and Cirkunov. Got KO'd by Corey Anderson on the feet, and then got hugged by Krylov for 3 rounds. So we've all seen Johnny Walker's weakness being the same as I think Johnny Walker combined the weakness of Alexander Hernandez and Kevin Holland. He hopped on his own hype train and he has no takedown defense. I think now he's off his own hype train, even though the shit he's saying during the week. Oh boy, he thinks he's gonna take over the division and win 2 belts. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least hopefully he stopped his takedown defense, which in the Spam fight looks like he did. And we all know Santos probably won't be shooting for takedowns, but he's gonna be trying to shoot his fucking head off. Who am I going with in this fight? Johnny Walker. Yeah, you just disliked the video. I don't care. I'm biased, and I think the worm can pull this off. I think Santos is older, and he doesn't have the fire anymore. Walker has that fire. May the confidence kills a cat, we will see. But if it didn't kill this one, then Santos is done. And this fight will not make it past the halfway point of round 2. I think Walker's gonna knock him out in the first. Or maybe TKO, but you know what I mean. And somehow these odds are way closer than they really should be on paper. Thiago's only a minus 170 to Johnny's plus 145. How Santos is not minus 230 blows my mind with how people have been talking about this fight the past week. So people talk about this fight like it's a amateur versus a undefeated champion. People talk about this fight like it's Khabib versus fucking Drew Dober. Like it's an easy fight. Like it's not like that. If Santos was still 34 fighting people like fucking Jimmy Manuwa and shit. Well, not over 35, I should say. Beating Manuwa. But also, watching that Manuwa fight today, he almost got knocked out by Jimmy fucking Manuwa. What do you think Johnny Walker's gonna do to him? So I'm going with the plus 145 dog. The Worm. Am I gonna be wrong Saturday night? Probably. But you gotta stick with your boys, man. You gotta die on your fighter's shield, man. And he's the second, and he's him and where's the other dog I'm taking? Who the fuck's the other dog I'm taking? I don't fucking remember. But yeah, I'm going with the Worm. So yeah, I think I'm taking all favorites besides Walker. So yeah, it should be a fun night of fights. But we are not done with the breakdown yet, cause I want to do a quick talk of MVP Lima 2. I'm gonna not take too long, cause we're at the 50-minute mark. We all know what happened the first time these two met in, how long was that? A couple years ago, in like 2018. MVP got hit with a leg kick and punched in the jaw. Yeah, 2019. So we all know what happened, but he came back on a 5-fight winning streak. Yeah, not beating great competition, but still came back more confident than ever. With Lima, after that win, not doing that much better than fucking MVP. After that win, where is it? He beat Rory McDonald in a rematch, and then he's on a 2-fight skid, losing to Gegard and Yaroslav. This fight could go one of two ways. Either Lima's gonna flatline him again, or MVP's gonna do what MVP does. The odds are fucking surprising right now, because MVP's a -115 to -105, so near even, pretty much as a pick'em. If MVP can, someone said this on Twitter earlier, if MVP beats Lima, the cam crushing thing has to be taken off his name, and I agree. Yeah, he's not beat the best competition lately, Derek Anderson and yada yada yada, but at least he's winning. Lima lost to Gay Guy badly and lost to Yanselo badly. Before that, he beat Rory McDonald, and I lost Rory McDonald the first time they fought. So I'm going MVP, pure bias, just like Johnny Walker. Wow, two guys who taunt in the cage. Yeah, I've always been an MVP fan. I don't know how you can't be an MVP fan. MVP is the funnest fight. He's the Bellator version of Michel Pereira. He's so fucking fun to watch. I want him in the UFC so bad. But at this point, 34 years old in his career, I doubt he will leave the UFC, leave Bellator for the UFC anytime soon. So I'm going with Venom Page to get his revenge by a knockout in the first, just like Johnny Walker. Both main events, I say, end quick. And we'll see who wins this fight early in the day tomorrow, because in London, so it's starting mad early. Yeah, the card starts at like 1 p.m. or some shit, so it should be a fun day of fights today, which by the time this is uploaded, the fight's actually going to be over, so come on, MVP. And then tomorrow we have Santos and Walker. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. God damn, another 50+ minute video. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like the video, comment, yeah, you all know what to do. You'll see me again Sunday around the same time as this premiering for a recap of UFC. I probably won't talk about the MVP fight. I'll probably talk about that with people in the chat if you're here. So yeah, besides that, guys, I'm happy you can hear me now, and RX out. I love you motherfuckers. Peace.